What is up, my magic miscreants? Risen Dragon here with a fun deck for you today, and today we are looking at a Mardu Anvil build. Now, Mardu, of course, being black, white, and red. Oni-Cult Anvil is the centerpiece of this deck, because whenever one or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Tap it to sack an artifact, and Oni-Cult Anvil deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life. Okay, so we're running a pretty artifact-heavy build to an extent, but a lot of this deck revolves around the interactions of the artifacts leaving the battlefield and entering the battlefield. So let's get into this. Market Gnome. When it dies, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So we can gain some card value from this. When it's exiled from the battlefield while you're activating a craft ability, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Goldhound kind of ramps us into stuff as a first strike menace. Sack it to add 1 mana of any color. Again, feeds the Oni-Cult. Tarion's Journal. Now this is an interesting one. Sacrifice another artifact or creature and draw a card. So again, we can get some card value from getting our artifacts off the battlefield. 2-tap, discard your hand, transform Tarion's Journal, and it comes back as the Tomb of Aclazots. And tap it, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters with a finality counter on it and is a vampire in addition to its other types. Now, a finality counter meaning if it would go to a graveyard from the battlefield, we exile it instead. Also, too, a few things we're looking at, too. Rite of Oblivion, because we can exile up to 6 permanents with this, because it has flashback, and feeds the Oni-Cult. You sack some of these, trigger the Oni-Cult, go from there. Soul Search, this is an interesting one. I saw this, someone playing this, and I was like, this one could be interesting. Target opponent reveals their hand, choose a non-land card from it, exile that card. If the card's mana value is 1 or less, create a 1/1 white and black flying spirit creature token with flying. I already said flying. So again, this one's an interesting one because we are also playing Anim Pakal, 1000th Moon. Whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on Anim Pakal, then create X 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens, that are tapped and attacking, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Anim Pakal. We're running Warleader's Call. We're doing another one of these decks again, kids. Creatures you control get +1/+1 whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control. Warleader's Call deals 1 damage to each opponent. Now, also too, before we get into the top end here, Crime Novelist. We're running 3 of these. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Crime Novelist and add 1 red mana. This card can get pretty out of control if we're sacking stuff to the Oni-Cult Anvil. And also some other things too, like crafting the Unstable Glyph Bridge. When it enters the battlefield, this is our sweeper. If you cast it for each player, choose a creature with power 2 or less that player controls, then destroy all creatures except creatures chosen this way. We craft with an artifact for 3 and 2 white, and it becomes Sandswirl Wanderglyph. Whenever an opponent casts a spell during their turn, they can't attack you or planeswalkers you control this turn. Kind of like one of those finale sort of cards. Each opponent who attacked you or a planeswalker you control this turn can't cast spells. Okay. We got a few mid cards here as well. Mondrak, Glory Dominus. We're only running 1 of these. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many are created instead. Of course, sacrifice 2 other artifacts, indoor creatures. Again, it feeds into stuff. Feeds into the Oni-Cult Anvil. And also 1 and 2 Phyrexian mana or 2 white mana. Put an indestructible counter on Mondrak Glory Dominus. Now, because Warleader's Call pairs wonderfully with Osier Axonil, just like wine and cheese and crackers and stuff, if a red source you control would deal an amount of non-combat damage less than Osier Axonil's power to an opponent, that source deals damage equal to Osier Axonil's power instead. When Osier Axonil dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control. It becomes the Temple of Power. Basically, 2 in a red, tap it, and transform it. Activate only if red sources you control dealt 4 or more non-combat damage this turn, and only as a sorcery. So it really only pairs with the Warleader's Call. Doesn't really pair with the Oni. Well, yeah, it does pair with the Oni-Cult, because I was thinking the construct, but yes, this definitely pairs well with the Oni-Cult and the Warleader's Call. We're also running Thousand Moon Smithy. When it comes into the battlefield, create a white Gnome Soldier artifact token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of artifacts and/or creatures you control. Beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may tap 5 untapped artifacts you control. If you do, transform the Thousand Moon Smithy, and it becomes Barracks of the Thousand. Whenever you cast an artifact or creature spell using mana produced by Barracks of the Thousand, create a white Gnome Soldier artifact creature token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of artifacts and or creatures you control. And finally, at the top end, we're running 1 Ozhurtak Deepest Foundation. If 1 or more creature tokens will be created under your control, 3 times that many those are created instead. So it's kind of like we're not going for lots and lots of tokens. Of course, this transforms into Temple of Civilization 2, and a white it transforms and activate only if you attacked with 3 or more creatures this turn, and only as a sorcery. So it doesn't really go away much or at all. So yeah, basically we're not really looking to do a lot of high-end tricks with this deck, but just with the combination of the Oni-Cult, Warleader's Call, and some of our other sack outlets are really just a good thing to do here. Sideboard, we're running 3 Fake Your Own Death. This is a card that I'm finding really useful, especially if I'm dipping into black. When it target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and under its owner's control, and you create a treasure token. And we're going for some spot removal. Go for the Throat, 3 Lightning Helix, 3 Into the Fire, 2 Sunfall, burn down the house. So, and also too, we're not really running any land destruction stuff. Land destruction lands like our Field of Ruin or Demolition Field. I'll probably have to swap out a few of those, but this is our Mardu Anvil build. If you like what you see, leave a like, leave a subscribe. If you're new to my channel, we do a best of 1 and a best of 3, so you can see how the deck functions in either one of those environments. So without further ado, let's get to the Mardu Anvil games, kids. We're against Kakek for our best of 1 matchup, a silver 4. This one's not the worst. This is actually pretty dang good. We're not going to be able to get the... Well, we're going to be able to get something down here. All right, Market Gnome. We had to keep this up for the Oni-Cult Anvil, just to see what they do. Okay, well, that's fun. We'll do this. We're not going to attack, obviously, because attacking for 0 damage is still 0 damage. Gleaming Gear Drake. Oh, is that Artifacts build? Interesting. Okay, so meow, we're going to get the Osier Axonil online, actually, because what we're going to do is this. We're going to create Artefacto, gain a life, draw a card. Of course, draw into all our lands, but that's neither here nor there. GRIXIS. Oh, they're playing an Oni-Cult Anvil too, huh? GRIXIS Anvil. Okay, well then. Oh, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, that's not a bad combination right there. I'm slightly jealous. Let's get this down. So we get that going on. That Gear Drake is going to get real massive. Tarian's Journal, huh? Okay, so yeah, now that's an interesting feed outlet. We're playing that in our... I'm going to be playing that in our Insidious Jund build, which I'm hoping to get to soon. Oh, now you're just toying with me, kids. Yeah, I don't need any more land. Rite of Oblivion I'm going to have to do. Yeah, Yeah, didn't really have much of a choice there. Swing in with the Osier Axonil. And then we can put down our Osier Talk. And they'll sack that. Yeah, sack that. Problem is, I can't sack this because... Yeah. So. Cannot sack that. You got something? What you got, Kikek? Oh, dagnabbit. Well, guess that's going away anyways. We're just gonna do that. We're just gonna have to do that. Another Gleaming Gear Drake, huh? Cool. You're gonna sack that, and yeah, fun stuff. So I have to almost wonder if Osier Talk is a good idea here, but who knows? We'll see. Okay, cool. Well, ask and ye shall receive to an extent, but the problem becomes, what do we sacrifice? And I think we have to... I'm gonna look in here. Professional Facebreaker Explosion. Magnetic Snuffler. Any target. I'm worried about the spot removal. Although probably I shouldn't have. Because the Saheeli definitely factors into that as well. And get them down to... Got them down to 7. Do they go to any target? Saheeli, yep. Okay, so they'll come in with the flying things, sack one, and
paradise of inspiration. I will not let it fall.
Go from there. Yep. Okay. So we got that happening. That's actually a really fun idea. I like this idea. I like this idea quite a bit. Okay. And they'll get us down to... We're gonna have to Rite of Oblivion, I think, the Gear Drake, because that is just, well, ask and ye shall receive. So here's what we do. We're gonna do this, sack that. We are going to Rite of Oblivion this, sack that. Swing for damage. Get him down to 1. Can we finish them off though? That's the question. That's gonna be the tough part here. Is can we...
Of course I can improve on ancient designs.
Okay. Can we finish them off? We can. If they don't get rid of the... Well, they can always gain life through... We get them. Okay, cool. Let's go to the best of 3. We are against Tinoob for our best of 3 matchup. They are a bronze level player, but we do not underestimate bronze level players in this. We do not. In fact, we cannot underestimate any opponent. So I think we go Shattered Sanctum into a Ganjo, into Sundown Pass, Soul Search, see what they're playing, you know, get a little peeky going. And we'll go from there. Or do we just do shattered... Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do that. Forgot what I was going to say. Oh, are we against... Let's take a peeky and see what we get. Are we... No more lies. Oh, so we're JESKAI Control, maybe? Liking that. A little bit of a slow hand there, but we'll see what happens. Oni-Cult. That comes down. We, on the other hand, are also quite... Oni-Cult Anvil is interesting. Let's try this. Okay. And they'll Wandering Emperor the Oni-Cult, but at least we get this online. We get that online, then we get the glyph bridge going.
Feel the energy of battle.
Yeah,
Then guide it.
that's what I figured. That is okay, though.
Almost sad to see you go.
I don't want to cast that quite yet. What we're going to do is we're going to do this.
I guess that's it.
Sack that. And I think we're going to do this. I'm going to mill that down. We hit nothing! That's okay. Sure, take that out. Restless Bivy. That's okay. Take 3. Man, you know what? I'm getting real sick and tired of this. I think what we are going to do... Now, we're going to hold off on the glyph bridge because that is going to be... They don't attack. Gee, are you kidding me? The bivouac, we don't want to do that because that is that, and we don't want to do that. So, let's swing in. If they decide they want to block, that's fine. Yeah. So we just do this, do that. And we'll go from there. Memory Deluge. Okay, fine. The Fortress comes into play next round, though, so we at least have that going for us. Alright, well. That's why I say don't ever underestimate bronze level players, because, you know, and I especially do like this rung of the ladder because of the fact that, you know, you just come across such unique builds. I really do think that it's a very... Crime Novelist is interesting. Okay. So now you get to see another fun interaction. Now the question becomes, yeah, I still don't want to do the glyph bridge because I don't know what they've got. There's not a lot to glean from this. So, problem is we keep drawing into our lands, and that's a problem. We're running the standard 24 in this build just because of the fact that we've got the higher curve out. Artifacts, enchantments. Yeah, that's a problem. Well, okay. I mean, I guess you had to do it. Oh, why you do that to me now, man? Let's do that. So, there's that. That's fun. So it's like JESKAI Control that they're doing. Well, we shall see what they decide to do here. See what they get down. 1 damage. We'll try it. I think they've got to have a removal though. Yeah, there's no way they don't have removal for that. Interesting, they went for that. So they're gonna have to block with the bivy. Do you have a shock? Or play with fire? Yeah. Alright. Kick out the jams. We got... Oh, maybe not. I don't know. No? Okay. Well, they're in a little bit of trouble, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, crime novelists you're going to have to get rid of. Okay, nope, they're not in trouble anymore. Still not in the best of shape, but... Okay, well, that's a thing. What's that? Watch me pull a land. No, unstable glyph bridge. Okay. Memory deluge. Okay. Not giving up on this. I have a feeling that they have. Well, we're gonna try it. I'm guessing they have a Wandering Emperor. Yeah, it's absolutely right. Absolutely right. You're gonna take care of my Ozirax, you know.
Let me show you.
Oh, I see what they're gonna do. They're gonna activate the bivy, take out my fort. Well, they gotta do that. Yeah, they don't have a choice. They gotta do that.
This is what you get for hurting my people.
Okay, so let's do this on that. Maybe force them into a removal here. Market Gnome is always cool. Right here, we desperately are in need of a. We're desperately in need of a.
Show them how
The glyph bridge is a great idea. And is this where we fall apart?
I have got new moves to teach you.
I think we do sacrifice the gnome, I think, because we can draw a card, gain life. Ojatak isn't doing us much. The Smithy also not so much. Unstable Glyph Bridge is, I think, our best option here. The Smithy is also an interesting move. How many lands do we have? We got 8, so that's... We tend to pull this off in one move, so...
We must protect the people.
Get lost is a thing. That's okay. That is impressive. I like it. But, let's see. We might run into No More Lies. Yep, that will resolve. Pay 3. Do you have another one? Nope. Okay. So, I think we keep status quo at the moment. Do they go with a Get Lost? Nope, they do their Memory Deluge. Now, should we have been pushing... Should we have been pushing a little bit harder on this? But that is my question. Should we have pushed a little bit harder with the fortress?
Guards, to me.
Interesting. What does that do? Interesting. Okay. Alright, well, let's see what happens here. I think we've... I'm looking at this right now. We may have had a win here. But we also have to take into account that they could have that spot removal with the... Try it. Let's try it. Where? All right. So they've got to find some sort of answer. Memory Deluge is part of it. They've had what, 3 of those already? They're gonna have to get the Oni-Cult off. I just don't see where that's going to. They got to take care of it. Let's just kill him. Unless they have a lightning helix, which they do. Of course you do. Of course you have a lightning helix. Let's try it. Yep, they had their one more lies. Okay. Or no more lies, I should say. Epic first game here. Epic!
We must.
This is the kind of game I don't mind losing. If, like, I'm dead serious. Like, if... Zergo and Urgatai. I'm sorry, Zergo and Ojutai. Okay. Yeah, you're just gonna have to go all in at this point, because I'm not gonna block that. Can't do it. I want to give them at least something to think about here. Got him. Okay. Whew. So, I think we take out the Glyph Bridge, put in Sunfall, especially where they are running a bunch of different creatures and stuff, especially with tokens. And yeah, they're doing the counter stuff, which we don't have Cavern of Souls because we're not really running a massive typal build today. But I think that is the plan. Take out the Glyph Bridge, because at least we can get more value out of the Sunfall than the Glyph Bridge. Oh well, it's good to shut them down when the Glyph Bridge transforms. I think it's just a matter of getting as many tokens as we can on the board. So we go at least 2 and 2 with this build today. And I am totally fine with that, because I think this is a very interesting concept. You just have to, the things just have to align. That's going to cost us some pain, but at least we can ramp into some stuff. Let's try this. You know what? Let's get damage in. Sure. We have a lot of Oni-Calls, so we're gonna try it. I think it's gonna get countered, but that's okay. We've got 3 of them. Yeah, that's okay. They'll have a Wandering Emperor. Take care of my Goldhound. Or not. Let's try it one more time. That stays for now. That's gonna die. Yep. Okay. Please be stuck on 3 lands. You are. Let's do Warleader's Call now. Lightning Helix. Get lost. Destroy evil. Sure. Okay. There we go. Getting something ramped up here. Let's see. Lightning Helix on my final unnamed Pakal. Maybe. Let's try it. Warleader's Call. Yep. Ping. 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 Boom, 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 boom. Okay, well, we're not gonna hold our breath on this, because there's a Sunfall right there. Here we go. Oh, Zergo Inertia Tide. So they got nothing. Let's go to the post-game analysis. So I think we got to see... Oh, we are running Tarian's Journal in this build. Oh my gosh, there was one game where I was like, yeah, I'm running that in my other ones. We are running it in this one. Completely forgot about it. So we saw a little bit of the synergies here with these artifacts, with this, and then with that. And certainly I do think the potential is there to make this deck a really, really powerful build. Even in the best of one, you saw Osier Axonal hit the board and it just completely changed the game with the Oni-Cult. So if you like what you saw with this build, leave a like, leave a subscribe. As always, my magic miscreants, may you always be on the play, and may all your spells hit the board. Risen Dragon is out. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.